Welcome to episode number 2. Today we are here once again with my mother, Samya, and Mr. Wonderful Christian Limoges. So today we're going to be discussing the nervous system is the gateway. And we'll begin with question number 1 to begin our discussion. Why is the nervous system central to both movement and internal health?
One of my colleagues once described the nervous system because at the time I had trouble studying it. And he goes, Samya, it's simple. It's just a circuit board. I'm like, oh, thanks. So, the nervous system is, as we like to look at it, the brain and the spinal cord and all the nerves that is feeding every tissue, every cell in your body. But it is what's one guiding your body to do what it needs to do automatically, but you also have control as well. You have both systems that are available to you. Your heart goes automatically, your lungs go automatically, so on and so forth, things that are keeping you alive. But we have also control of our movements. We have control of our breath. We have control of our bowels even sometimes, right? Not always.
Sometimes.
Not always.
Only
Not always.
sometimes.
But why is it central to your health? If the nervous system is short-circuited, like in a home, you get a short circuit, your stove's not going to work, or the light's going to go out, or something. It's the same thing. Sometimes an organ doesn't work simply because the signal is not being communicated from the spine through the nerve to that organ. So, for example, in our field in osteopathy, we look for lesions of the spine, meaning where is that blockage happening, where the nerve is being compromised, where maybe there's a short circuit or just communication is not happening at all, where now that tissue or that organ or whatever it's going to starts to just not function. But then we call it a disease. Now, sometimes, of course, an organ can actually have its issues, but we need to look there first because that's what's running the body. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that.
Well, me and I would say, like most of the people that I see, like their nervous system is dysregulated. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the reason why it's dysregulated is because of their way of living. So the way of living is like the way you eat, the way you digest, the way you eliminate, the way you talk, the way you think, because your body is made up of cells, and the cells are constantly listening to what you think.
Yeah, and I feel maybe some people listening, I have the question right now. When you say even the way you talk, how would even just the way we talk go into how does that affect
Okay,
it?
so when you say a word, the word has a vibration. Everything is about vibration. Everything is energy. Okay, so if I break down my body is made of like organs and glands, bones and ligaments. This is made of cells. Cells are made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms. Atoms are made of subatomic particles. And subatomic particles are made of energy. So I am energy. You are energy. This is energy. Everybody is energy. Air is energy. Everything is energy. So I am energy, bathing in energy. When I say a word is generating like an electromagnetic field. So if I'm constantly saying, I'm fed up of this, I'm fed up of this, and this is like killing me. Like, and the other day, somebody was like on the phone with me. Somebody went from the US, and I think that she said 15 times, this is killing me. So when you say that, cells are receiving that word. So they say, okay, the environment is not safe. That's what the cells are saying. Environment is not safe. This person is not in peace. Like there is a danger out there. Then the nervous system goes into like survival mode. And then when you do that for 5 minutes, it's okay. But if you're constantly using words that are extremely negative, your nervous system becomes completely dysregulated. But the nervous system controls everything. So when the body is in survival mode, the body says, I cannot use energy to digest. I cannot use energy to absorb. I cannot use energy to eliminate. I cannot repair. I cannot regenerate, and I cannot heal because I need energy in order to fight, to run away from the danger, or to hide from it. So when the people are like, I see people and they talk to me, right from the time they start talking to me, I see why their nervous system is completely dysregulated and how come their body is not good. They don't feel good. They're not like comfortable in their body. They have problems. Their nervous system is completely on surviving mode. So they're not digesting well. They're not eliminating well. So it's the same thing that we were like talking about. The body becomes toxic because the body can no longer do its task.
Yes, and I feel because even the words, people may hear say, oh, everything's energy, okay, but even in science, there's somebody that you introduced me to, mommy, by the name of Mr. Dr. Emoto. I don't know if you know.
Water.
Yeah, the water. Yeah, how every single word has its own signature, has its own frequency. Everything is vibration, and we'll see the effect of a certain vibration or a certain word on a crystal, and some words will make beautiful, beautiful shapes, and some will make not so not so beautiful shapes. And we're 75% water.
Exactly.
And so yeah, if we're saying these words, we're affecting our whole body. Basically.
And the thoughts
The
too.
thoughts
Don't forget.
too. Yeah.
I used to like when I was like years ago, I was studying like in the States, and we had like 3,000 people and then we were doing like muscle testing.
Yeah.
So muscle testing is that your body knows what is good and what is not good. So if I muscle test you, like I put pressure and you resist it, and then I say hold white sugar. When you're gonna hold white sugar and I'm gonna test you, you won't be able to resist my hand because the body says this is not good. White sugar is not good. So my body knows what is good and what is not good all the time.
Exactly.
And when we were testing people and we were asking people, say, I love myself, 98% of the people were testing weak.
Yes.
So it means that inside of them, they don't love themselves. But it's just an illusion, it's just a thought because of the way they've been programmed. But that's what they're sending to each one of their cells for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years nonstop.
Yeah, and when it becomes that form of thought becomes so ingrained, it's one thing that even I realize within myself. Sometimes is if let's say we're frustrated, this is a whole conversation, but the connection between the heart and the mind. When we are thinking something or we say something, or let's say, I'm super frustrated or something like that, and we're not just saying that, but we emotionally feel that. Our emotions are giving out a frequency,
Absolutely.
are giving out that signal, compared to if we say, I absolutely love myself, but we're not, but we don't, we say that, but we're not in emotional alignment with that. We can say it a million times, people can say a million affirmations in the mirror, but it's not necessarily going to have the effect because we're not necessarily there emotionally.
That's it.
Yeah, but also with that, why is the nervous system is actually responding to that. It's not, a lot of people think that the nervous system is what controls absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, there's more nervous tissue in your heart than there is in the brain. They've found this. So, if my brain is now listening to my heart and my emotions and my feelings, my belief systems, my core values, well then it's responding to that, therefore then telling my cells what to do, or tissues or whatever, organs. It's telling the body what to do in response to what's going on. Hence, if I can now regulate my nervous system, i.e. change my beliefs, change my thoughts, change my core values to make it in a way that I actually truly, as you're saying, believe it,
and know it
and
to
know
be true,
it to be true. It's not just faith anymore. It's I know for certain. Well, then the brain nervous system is going to respond to that and tell the cells, it's okay now you can be happy and function. And absolutely.
And that's, for myself, when I realized that, it allows us to feel, I feel, more powerful and more in control. That we have control over our body. We are able to influence so much, and I feel it puts us in a place of power and a feel of
you're no longer a victim.
You're no longer a victim. Exactly. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And you know that like now research, because of Joe Dispenza and everything, now we know that when you say a word, you need to be present at the word, but the word doesn't need your approval. When you say the word, even though your mind doesn't believe it, your body believes it. It makes you feel good. Even though
Exactly.
your mind says, come on, Christian, it's not true that you are like, you love yourself or whatever because you're not doing this or you're not doing that. Words do not need my approval. Words have also like an energy field.
Exactly.
So the more I repeat it, like when we learn like our, multiplication, table, by repeating it nonstop, now 40 years later, 50 years later, I still know it. It's like tying my shoes.
Yeah.
So the body, like when you say something like repeatedly nonstop and you put your attention into it, eventually, now we know that when you say, I love myself and I approve of myself, now we know that the cells are producing oxytocin, which is the hormone of love.
Yeah.
So love doesn't need to come from the outside. Even if it comes from the outside, if I don't believe it myself, I'm not going to feel it. I feel it when it comes from me. So it just shows how much power we have.
Exactly.
Love is within. The power is within.
Yeah.
But you mentioned the power of the word itself. I mean, a couple of years ago, I started out of curiosity. I wanted to learn Hebrew. And I took a year-long course with the University of Israel to learn, basics of Hebrew. And what you learn and understand is that Hebrew is a language based on sound, because sound as a frequency itself has an effect on your body and your surroundings and the people around you. So you mention certain words in Hebrew, in the Hebrew language, you're not only speaking or communicating, you are actually having an impact energetically on your surroundings and on your own tissues. And interestingly enough, your cousin, who's a sound engineer or he's into sound. He was showing me that even in our language, in English, you say I love you, and you can see the frequency and what kind of graph or whatever that it creates. I'm not a sound person, obviously. But then you say a bad word, for example, and it's no longer sound. In the sound world, it's considered noise. It's a shh. Exactly. Yeah. And he says anything with those kind of sharp, whatever, consonants or anything specific, I think it was much more related to consonants, but has this noise value, which is actually harmful for our system, compared to sound, where it's much more vocal, ahs and ohs. And so
yeah, it's beautiful.
Even just saying, as you said, the word, you don't actually have to believe it, because the word itself will have an impact.
And it's not even just words, but as you were saying, everything is frequency. The music that we listen to, the music that we listen to, sometimes we might feel really good after listening to a certain song, or feel not so good after listening to a certain song. And we can even use songs that we love or that are certain frequencies as ways to allow ourselves through resonance to get into a specific frequency, that we want to express.
And to therefore influence
and to
our
therefore
nervous system,
influence our
state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things that can block healing is the way you talk to yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a lack of love.
Exactly.
And we really need to understand that we're living in a world of love. We need to understand that we're so stuck like in our brain, in our belief system and everything. Think about it. You take a seed, an apple seed, you plant it. It's giving you an apple tree. The apple tree is going to produce 300 apples, and in each apple about like 10 seeds. With one seed, you have 3,000 seeds. With the 3,000 seeds, you plant them, you have 3,000 apple trees.
It's exponential.
So you see that this world is about giving generously, nonstop, because we are loved.
Abundance.
But we need to see it. If we don't see it, then automatically you're going to have a hard time believing in it. You need to stop, pause, breathe, and see the reality of this world.
And in fact, the Heart Math Institute,
the Heart Man,
so they are now proving, with the research that they're doing, that little bit of love done in groups, in all the negativity that we see that's happening in the world, you only need a tenth, if not less, to have a big impact on all the negativity that's happening around. So you don't, they say, oh, but there's so much bad. There's so much bad. How are we going to conquer and fight this and fight that? No, just a couple people
Yeah,
meditating,
exactly.
praying, whatever you want to do that's positive will have a big impact on the whole energy of that area, where they're seeing crime being reduced. They're seeing even the health of individuals changing for the positive. It's incredible.
It's like you'll see even I feel little hints of this in movies where you'll see there is an entire army, let's say, of the more negative party in the movie, but then the whole army gets defeated by the one more, let's say, positively oriented individual. And yeah, I feel like it's the same thing.
And it's easy to understand. It's because love is the highest vibrational energy that we know. So everything like under love, when you vibrate with love, you say the words, you feel it and everything, then it's going to start dissolving all of the negative energy that you have inside of you. Everything is energy.
And a lot of people don't believe that. They go, oh, energy, what's all this, esoteric. I'm sorry, but the hospitals are measuring it. They put electrodes, they measure the electricity, they measure
EEGs, whatever.
Exactly, like, come on.
It's all energy.
It's all energy.
Quantum field energy, quantum medicine.
That's right.
It's all about energy.
And speaking of how this energy affects our body and stuff, so how does dysregulation show up physically versus biomechanically?
Well, physically, I'll let you start with that one because that'll lead into, I think.
So my body is like, my body is listening constantly, like the universe is listening to the way I feel and I think, because I'm pouring out an energy field, a vibration. So a vibration is energy as a vibration. And when we say frequency, people need to understand that a frequency is the energy that, like the vibration or the information that the energy is carrying. Okay, so everything is energy. So I meet somebody, for example, and I feel that the guy is not feeling too good. I feel his energy. I feel it. So he is energetic. Everything is energy, but he's carrying a negative energy field. And I'm feeling it like I would feel it with somebody that feels very good and everything. So we're constantly feeling it all the time. So when I am thinking, talking in a certain way, behaving in a certain way, my body is receiving it. And then my nervous system is getting what I am kind of producing. So life is super easy. Life is going to reflect me back to me. So when I'm pouring out an energy field, like a mirror, it's going to come back to me.
Go ahead. I love the saying, your frequency is what you frequently see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when people come to see me and they start talking to me or whatever, right away I see why it's not working. It's not just the food in their plate. It's also the way they think, the way they talk, the way they behave. And then the body is just gonna, when people say, yeah, but Christian, how do I know that I have negative programs inside of me? Because 95% of the time I'm running on programs. I'm only here present 5% of the time. Okay? From the 95% of the time that I'm running by my programs, now we know that 85% of our programs are negative. So people are running constantly on programs that they have learned from their mom, their dad, from the society,
movies,
and programs that you develop yourself with your belief system that you have acquired when you were young. So when you're born, you're not there, and then you go in theta. Theta means that for 9 years, from 0 to 9 years old, that's it. Your brain wave is so powerful because you need to learn everything as quickly as possible to fit the tribe. Then after 9 years old, you go more conscious, you become more conscious, and then you develop your consciousness with what you have learned in the first 9 years.
The foundation.
Yeah, the foundation, and very often the foundation is not good. So people are running by programs. So sometimes when people say, yeah, but Christian, how do I know that my programs are not good? Very easy. If, for example, your relationship are not working well in your life, but when you talk to me consciously, you say, I want to have good relationship, but in your life, you don't have it. It's because it's a program.
And that's the mirror.
Yeah.
It's the mirror. That's
look,
it.
look,
Mirror.
if you want to know whether your programs are benefiting you or good or not, just look at your life. You know, look at your life. Look at the fruits.
Yeah. And
but-
think about the fact that most of the people are sick. So everybody has, for most of the people, the program of being sick is normal.
This is the victim mentality.
The
too,
victim
right?
mentality.
So they're sick, their life is not going well, and it's all happening to me rather than having the attitude of maybe it's happening for me.
Yeah,
rather
that's
than
it.
going
Yeah.
within and starting to see, wait, hang on a minute. Am I actually
Yeah.
reflecting this back at myself? And in fact, when I had to help my little son who had behavior issues, where did they point the finger? Mom, right? I had to do the work, which my son was only reflecting the state that I was in, which I only learned eventually, finally,
Yeah.
which is when I finally accepted that and started to say, okay, I need to look at myself. I need to start changing what's going on here, and how I was behaving. That's when he started changing, because he was now reflecting back
The mirror.
what was going on. Exactly. But how does that show up? Symptoms,
Yeah.
the life that we present.
Yeah.
And you were asking biomechanically,
Same.
all those chemicals that the brain is now, asking the organs to
Producing.
produce, well, accumulation of that when it's held chronically in the body gets stuck in our tissues, gets stuck in the fascia. And there's science to show this all over the place. Well, tissue that's, again, one stagnant, right? It's not flowing, not moving. Now I've got all these chemicals that are actually harmful for my tissues, acidic, burning, destroying my tissues, sitting in there. Well, everything becomes stiff, rigid. You watch people walking, rather than just this flow, like a catwalk type flow, you're seeing waddles,
Yeah.
bounces.
Like penguins.
Yeah, penguins. They're stiff and rigid. They can't adapt. There's no malleability. There's no malleability physically, but even emotionally, mentally, they can't adapt to anything that's going on. And so biomechanically, how do we see it? Arthritis, joint pain, fasciitis, this itis, that itis. That's how we see it. All the itises, man.
All the itises.
It's just inflammation everywhere.
Yeah. So speaking of this, actually, I mean, the next question is, what are signs a body is stuck in survival mode?
Ha.
I know.
Burnout is the
Everything.
big
That's
one.
number one.
Everything. Everybody's in survival mode.
Everything.
The breath is rushed. The heart rate is rushed. So palpitations, anxiety, always rushing to be somewhere, to do things, not being able to sit still, not being able to sit quietly.
Not being able to sit quietly is a big one. I was actually just about to say that.
We see it in yoga and Pilates where they can't focus. We tell you, okay, go into Warrior 3. Look at your third finger. Oh, focus.
They're not
Stay
there.
still. You're not there. They're losing their balance. All our balance poses, it's there to
Yeah.
ground you.
Exactly.
Set some roots in that earth and hold still.
Because there's nothing wrong, I feel, with go and wanting to do things, but as long as, like you were saying, even in yoga, having balance, being grounded, having that foundation. Because if we can reach for the stars, but if we're going to reach for the stars, we need to make sure, I feel, we're firmly planted on the ground.
Yeah. But then we see it in all, like, I'm not digesting well. I'm not sleeping well.
In everything, for me, it's all symptoms. It's everything that the people say, I'm not uncomfortable. It's because the body is talking. They have like nervous system dysregulation. And physically speaking, what happens is always the same thing. Like as a naturopath, it's always like the digestive system is completely not working. Because when the body is in stress, is in like survival mode, the body says, not time to digest, not time to eliminate, not time to regenerate, not time to heal. So some people, sometimes they've been on this like survival mode for 20 years. Imagine, it's 20 years that they eat, they don't digest well. They're accumulating waste. They're fermenting all the time. They're accumulating like toxins inside of their body. They're stressed out. The muscles are like this because they're not relaxed. The body is not producing like loving hormones. The body is constantly producing stress hormones.
Yeah.
And now we know that when you get stressed out because of your brain, because of your stories, it's always a
It's
story.
always a story.
You make a story of something. So it's not true that stress comes from the outside. When people say, I'm stressed because of my boss, no, you're stressed because of what you think about your boss. It's not your boss. You cannot control
That's
your
a good
boss. You
point.
can control the way you think about what he's doing or whatever.
And the way
So,
that we
that's it.
the way that we interpret
That's
the
it. So
situation.
when you get stressed out, the brain says, okay, stressed out. Okay, so then your limbic brain is going to start producing neurochemicals. Neurochemicals are going down like down your spine. Then they go to your adrenal glands. They say to adrenal glands, produce hormones of stress. Hormones of stress are making you stressed out. It goes back into the brain. Then the brain says it's stress. So it's thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling. And then it
Vicious
doesn't
circle.
stop. And now we know, because of Joe Dispenza, that stress hormones trigger more negative thoughts. So when I go into the stress, I'm going to create more reasons to be stressed out because my brain is going to make more stories to match the stress
The story.
hormones.
And that this is the beauty, I feel, also, is because it can either snowball negatively or it can snowball positively, because we can say, okay, we have one negative thought and it can snowball and snowball and snowball and create more stories to believe it to be even more real. But we can actually build the same amount of momentum in the positive direction as well. One positive thought can have the snowball effect of oh, well, I need to create now another story to validate this thought, and then you believe it even more, and then it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs.
Absolutely.
So we have the choice, we have the freedom. It's just to become aware of the story to begin with, because we can have our thoughts on autopilot. It's like if we're in the car and we're, I don't know, listening to the radio or something on, and you're not listening, you're not paying attention to what's going on, or necessarily we're focused on the road but not focused on everything that's going on around us.
Well, we
but
also
just,
run on automatic a lot of the time. rather than
95% of the
100%.
time.
Yeah.
95% of the time. We're not here.
Yeah.
it comes, yeah, really, I feel it comes
So
to
people are
awareness.
not, they don't know that they don't know. Sometimes I'm asking people, like, what kind of internal conversation do you have with yourself? They look at me and they say, if I would treat you, Christian, like I'm treating myself, you would be completely like sick or whatever.
Depressed. Yeah.
But it's only when I ask them the question and now they're with me and they're conscious.
Yeah.
The moment they're not conscious, they don't know anymore what they're thinking about. They're driving their car and they're constantly thinking about something that is making them stressed out. And the body is constantly receiving and listening to that.
And sometimes not even aware of it. You know, just
So what you said is amazing. It's true because first of all, like a positive like thought that creates beautiful feelings inside of you is much more powerful than the negative like frequencies or negative vibration.
Yeah.
So a thought is a thing. Think about it like this house is coming from the thought of an architect. Your car is coming from a thought. So my body is also molding to my thoughts.
Yes.
But it's only a manifestation of our consciousness.
Yeah.
This is just a crystallized version. It's just vapor turning.
Yeah, the reality is the energy. It's not this.
That's right. It's the same, yeah.
So if your thoughts can make you sick, does it make sense to understand that my thoughts can make me super vital? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I need to be more aware. 5% of the time, 10%, 15, 20, 25, 30. Me, sometimes I drive my car, I turn off my radio. The other day I went to Trois-Rivières, an hour and 30 minutes, like 90 minutes. I said, for 90 minutes, Christian, you're going to be here on your seat and thinking about what you really want. And I did it. For non-stop 90 minutes, I was constantly focusing on what I really want.
Because you're in silence too. All you can hear is your thoughts. Whereas when you have the radio on or you're thinking about past or future, not in the present, it's just noise. It's distraction in the end.
Yeah.
Without the distraction, the challenge is don't be distracted. Stay in your Shavasana. breathe for 2 minutes.
Yeah, just 2
try.
minutes. Yeah, just trying.
Yeah, just try.
And then your nervous system will start regulating, and then you create coherence in between your heart and your brain.
And from personal experience, I feel once we actually begin to really experience that peace, we actually look forward to that silence and not
Yes.
trying
We
to
want
because
it.
Yes.
because why
time.
else I feel would we want to block out? Why else would we want all these distractions? Why would we want the radio on? Why would we want to keep stuffing our face with foods that we know aren't good for us? Why would we want these distractions? Is because we're not comfortable with ourselves.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
And it's just being aware, okay, what is it the thoughts that are going on that I don't like, you know? So
Well, most of the time it's the thoughts. That's why people
Yeah.
are always on their phone. They wake up in the morning, they rush to their phone. It's because they're not comfortable with themselves when there's no phone.
Yeah. And
So
then when you actually get used to being in that silence, and you do it because you've done it more often, you've practiced it, now it's becoming embodied. You start when you go into, like we went to Fairview yesterday, it
Yeah.
messed me up. I could,
shopping mall,
but you
by the way.
you then realize, wow, that's the effect that thing was having on me, because now you have a major contrast.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
Before I
see
was
it.
always here.
Yeah.
Now I'm here.
You
I
see
really
it.
see it.
There's a gap in between you, like the soul, and what your brain or the way you think. We see how we think. And
Yeah.
then we say, whoa,
I'm not that.
I'm not that.
That's
But
right.
also, one thing for myself is this was actually in I don't remember which one, but one of Joe Dispenza's books actually, where I think where there was monks. They had monks and they put all the
Yeah,
the things on their
electrodes.
electrodes on their brain, and they while they were meditating and saw the their brainwave state, and they also measured they measured their brain before while they meditated. They went out into the city, did their own thing. These monks were amongst tons of people, like we were in the mall yesterday, came back, measured their brain, they were in the same state. So for myself now, I'm like, okay, sure, it's more easy to feel calm when we're meditating, but how can I bring that state into the mall, into
Agitation.
into anywhere. You can be, I don't know, a football
That's a
game
very good point,
or
because
something.
very often I hear when I'm treating people, yeah, but they,
outside.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they. Well, it is possible to maintain your peace within the war.
Regulate your own
Regulate
vibration.
yourself.
Well, you need
and the
more-
only person you're responsible for really is yourself.
We need more presence. We need to be here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you become what you think about most of the time. And if you're not thinking well, which is 95% of the people, 95% of the time, then your body becomes dysregulated completely.
Yeah.
We just need to be. I remember a teacher used to say, we don't need more time. We need to be more present. People are always saying, I need more time. I need more time. There's so many things that I would like to do. You don't need more time. You need to be more present.
Time disappears when
Yeah,
you're
that's
present.
it. All of a sudden, like
Time
you're no
flies.
longer controlled by time and environment or whatever.
Yeah.
You go beyond environment. You become, like Joe Dispenza says, you need to be greater than your environment. You need to be greater than time. And you need to be greater than your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how does breath actually influence vagal tone?
So the vagus nerve, they call it the wandering nerve because it's one of the biggest nerves in the body, longest. It travels from the brainstem all the way down through the throat or neck, and basically innervates a lot of the organs, most of the organs. But really, it's giving also information from the organs back to the brain. But it's part of our parasympathetic, so automatic stuff too starts to work through there. So the heart, the lungs, the digestive system. But as Christian mentioned before, those systems don't work well if you're in sympathetic, if you're in fight or flight. So if you want those systems to work congruently and coherently, it's better to be in parasympathetic. But the way so rest and restore. So one of the entry keys to get into parasympathetic is through the breath. And why? Because the heart rate listens to the rhythm of the breath to regulate itself as well, even though it has its own regulation. Remember, we are systemic, right? So everything works together.
Yeah.
So if the breath is panting, if you're running from a tiger or whatever, or you're
Yeah.
stressed, you're going to work, the heart's going to pump faster to get the blood, the food, the oxygen to your muscles to do the running and everything that you need to do.
Real quick, I love how we're comparing running from a tiger to going to work.
Yes.
Like that's not like
Well,
like
for
why
some-
do we have
for
to
some
compare
people,
that
it's
now?
the same thing.
I remember, when you guys were young, come on, get
Yeah,
in the car.
yeah, nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop. I was running from the minute I woke up to the
Yeah.
minute I went to bed.
Yeah.
I ran from work to go pick you guys up from school,
Without breathing very
Without breathing.
often.
And not taking a moment for myself until somebody
Yeah.
said, take a moment.
Yeah.
Just one.
So if we can regulate our breath rhythm, the heart responds to that by slowing the heart rate down.
Yeah.
A slower heart rate, slow breath rhythm tells the brain, make these chemicals. Let's get the vagus nerve to start waking up and start allowing the systems to digest. And so it's a very easy entry point to go through the breath first, right? Because we have really no control of what the vagus nerve does
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any other entryways.
Well,
to vagal tone.
the other analogy that I'm using very often to make people understand is that when you're breathing fast, like you're like kind of a trapped animal, or like an animal that is like running from a predator or whatever. So then just by the rhythm of breathing that you have, you're teaching your body if you're in peace or not in peace. So if you're running from the time you wake up in the morning, like she said, with the kids and this and that and the work and everything, and then you come back all the time, you're teaching your body. We teach the body with the way we talk, the way we think and everything. And the way we breathe, we teach also. And when we teach the body, I'm breathing like very, I'm a shallow breather. I don't take the time to breathe in, to breathe out. Then my body says, again, there is a danger. There is a problem. I'm not in peace. So then the body like rushes all the blood to your extremities to fight or to run away or to hide. And then the brain has the same rhythm as your heart. So the brain becomes, you start going into like the same thing that you used to think yesterday. Because yesterday you were also like in survival mode. So you're always in the past. You're always thinking in the way that you wake up in the morning, okay, another day to go. I have to fix my kids. I have to do this, to do that. I have to look at my phone. So you're always in the past or in the future, but you're never in the moment. The moment you just like, you're like that, and then you stop, you pause.
Mhm.
Joe Dispenza says, say stop, stop. And then you start to breathe in, 5 seconds, breathe out. Like she said, the rhythm of the heart goes down, the brain goes into living. And then you start having like better way of thinking and everything. And your adrenal glands, they stop producing the stress hormones again.
Yeah. And there's so many techniques to help stimulate the vagus nerve and to get us into that state as well. I mean, there's humming, there's that vibration and frequency.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Om is one of them. So but it all stems down to taking that moment, just taking that one moment.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And I mean, vagal tone also, for people who don't necessarily know exactly what that is, can you kind of go into that?
Well, that's what I mentioned about the
Yeah.
vagus nerve, right? So
Yeah.
if you're always in fight or flight, that vagus nerve short circuits, let's call it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to give do you have any other ways of describing?
No, it's short circuit.
Yeah,
It's dysregulation.
It's dysregulation.
Okay, perfect. So, so another question that we have here. So why do some clients not respond to exercise?
Well, there you go, right? If you're stuck in the fight or flight, then whatever you're trying to do to try and help your system is not going to respond whatsoever, because those systems aren't on. They're turned off. You're in a whole different other system.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to be able to get your systems at a place where they can actually respond to whatever you're trying to make them do. And just to simplify.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. If I'm, for example, I've got clients who are high strung, they have a lot of responsibility at work. They come to me stressed out, but then they want to do Pilates. They can't even focus. They can't focus.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is lie down. If I make them lie down face up, they're all over the place in their mind. I'm like, face down, cover, dark, breathe, and you get them to focus on something that's going on in their body, which is the movement of your belly. Is it moving? Oh, it's not moving. Why? Because I'm stuck up here in my shallow breath. Let's see if we can get the breath all the way down into the belly. And they'll breathe for 10 minutes. Just being aware of where the breath is going, what parts of their body is moving.
Yeah.
Because now they have to focus on something,
Yes.
but it's themselves.
Yes.
You do that for 5-10 minutes, their state completely changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Completely changed.
Well, me, I have a different point of view with that.
Yes.
You know, the same point of view, but when I go into the physical body, like, it's very easy to understand. Like, most of the people are not eating the food that fits their species. And we're stressed out all the time, so we're not digesting well. So what happens is that our bowels, our small intestines are getting like very, very congested. People are not eliminating well. They eat 3 meals a day with snacks in between. They only go once a day. They're not eliminating well. So in the long run or short term, they start like being like congested in their bowels. So when the body has 4 channels of elimination, like the bowels, the kidneys, the skin, and the lungs. They need to work 24 hours a day to keep your body internally clean. So internal cleanliness is extremely important so that your cells can work well, including your nervous system cells. Okay. When my body is not clean, then, like, for example, when my body is clean, the analogy is a bottle of water. So imagine a bottle of water. When my body is not clean and I'm fermenting and I have gas and I have acid reflux and I have problems like breathing well because my bowels are bloated and they're blocking my diaphragm and everything, this is a mechanical thing. Yeah. So then when my body is not clean in my bowels, which is most of the people that I'm seeing, then your body becomes like imagine your body like being like a bottle of champagne. When stress comes for whatever reason, very often it's like just done by thought alone. It's a story again, okay? So then it shakes me because then my heart starts like producing, like pounding. My adrenal gland starts producing adrenaline. Even though I'm just thinking about something, it's not even real, but I'm just thinking about it just by thought alone. Then I shake my body. So if my body is clean and I shake a bottle of water, nothing happens. So that's the reason why we need to clean it, to be clean inside. But when I get stressed out because of something real or something that I'm thinking, then I shake my body and then I start fermenting. When I start fermenting, inside of our digestive system, inside of our small intestine and colon, we have another nervous system. It's called the ENS. It's called the enteric nervous system. Studies now are showing that enteric nervous system is more important than sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Mm-hmm. So then inside of my gut, I have tons of neurons. My gut thinks. It's completely amazing. And then when people starts like fermenting a lot in their gut, then it creates acids. Acids are going up. Like when you shake a bottle, acids are going up and they go along your vagus nerve. Exactly. And then they create like so much storm in the head that people have a hard time calming down. So having the ability to be able to calm down is not just something that you decide to do. It is something that you decide to do. But sometimes physically, your body is doing it better than you now. You have trained your body to be so much in drama all the time that your body is doing it better than you.
Yeah. But this is also why in certain religions they fast. They want you to still the mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. That's very good point.
And fasting still the mind.
It does.
Wow, big time.
I remember the first.
Everybody says that who experiences.
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the first time I did. One of the first times I did a fast. I think it was even for a day, 2-3 days. Nothing like not super long fast. But I remember we were at the beach that one day, and myself, I used to eat a lot. I used to have 3-4 meals a day, snacks in between, and from my stomach being completely empty, I remember just looking out onto the water and feeling. My mind literally feels just like how I see this water, completely still, completely at peace. Exactly. I feel like I'm aware of the thoughts that are coming in. I'm in control of the thoughts I can think. It's not just this unconscious story again, like a radio continuously playing in my mind. You know?
And that's when we welcome the stillness, we welcome the quiet, because you're actually capable of doing it, because there's not this champagne party happening on the inside.
And when you're doing it, think about it. When you do it just by breathing, the body listens to the breathing. The body says it is safe.
Yeah.
It is a good environment. You start to digest better, eliminate better. The cells are working better. The cells are just happy to do their task.
And
Yes.
therefore
There's
sleep
no
better.
more problems.
Exactly.
Just by the breath.
Yeah. You sleep, you can sleep.
Yeah.
You can rest, you can digest, you can
Yeah.
function.
I feel it's all so simple, but we just got to become aware of it. You know, just becoming aware of how these things work, because, you know, throughout our lives, sure, maybe we were conditioned to believe other things, that we need all of these other external things, but really, again, everything in nature is made perfectly. We are part of nature. We're made perfectly, and yeah, so simple.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
it.
so simple.
Exactly. I feel this was a wonderful episode. I don't know
Yeah.
if
It was
there's anything
beautiful.
else that
No,
you'd
I'm
like to
all
share.
good.
No, that was great.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
great.
Great.
Alrighty, beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Wonderful episode
Beautiful.
too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the Metriz Dialogues. If this conversation shifted the way you think, then please share it with somebody that you think might benefit. And if you're thinking of diving deeper into your own regenerative process, or maybe you're thinking about advanced movement education, then please go to our website at studiometriz.com and we'll see you there.